Hey everyone, today I'll show you how to create your own AI assistant that will help you run your social media. This AI assistant will be mainly beneficial for the platforms like Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, or community platforms like School, where you mainly post in a text-based format. So we are here in N8N Canvas that I have right here. And before we go ahead and recreate the same one, I would like to show you what it does. So here we create a database for our AI agents that we'll be using later. Here we're gonna have to have the connection of N8N with Google Drive and connect the vector store. In my case, it's gonna be Supabase with N8N. Here, you're basically creating inside of the Google Drive a Google Sheet with the structure and the data for your AI agent to use in the future. In this data, you want this AI agent to know you, to understand what you like, what kind of posts you want. Because at the end of the day, if you want to post something on social media with the help of your AI assistant, it has to understand your personality, your needs, your specialization, and what you like to post at the end of the day. Here, I created AI agent itself. As you can see, the documents that we push to the Supabase vector store now can be accessed right here. So basically, we're gonna chat with this AI agent, tell what we want and what kind of post and what we want to talk about in this post, and then it either can push it to your social media directly, or it can push it to the Google Sheet. In this case, I have Google Sheet because at the end of the day, I want to review what it wants to post before I actually post it myself. So let's actually go ahead and start recreating it ourselves. So right here, let's create a database for our agent. So let's put the trigger manually. So this trigger works whenever you just test the workflow. So as you can see, it worked perfectly fine. Everything is green. Here we're gonna add a node. It's gonna be our Google Drive. Yes, I almost missed it. And we're gonna download the file. Basically, Google Drive account, we connected with my Google Drive account. You also have to connect your credentials with N8, and here it's going to be a resource file because at the end of the day we want to download Google Sheet the exact file. We're going to use download operation, and from list I already have one. Let's see, ads, social media agent. So basically what it's going to do, it's going to download the files that I've created with the structure provided. So let's test the step. As you can see, everything was fine. Output is perfectly, it worked perfectly. So file name, file extension docx. Now we have to connect our vector store. In my case, I'm going to be using Supabase vector store, and we're going to add documents to the vector store. We're basically going to push this Google Sheet document to the vector store in order to pass it to the AI agent at the final stage. So you'll have to connect your credential with N8N. It's going to be Supabase account. I think you'll have to give a client ID and a secret key. Operation mode is going to be insert documents into vector store. We're going to basically push documents from Google Drive, from the Google Sheet inside of Google Drive to the Supabase. I hope it did not confuse you. And here, inside the Supabase dashboard, you'll see you have tables. And I've created already one. It's called documents. And before we go to Supabase, something very important to remember, whenever you set it up or log in, go inside the docs, and here you'll see Supabase provides a quick start for setting up your vector store. Go inside that link and copy this code. You're basically going to copy this code, and you're going to go in your dashboard in SQL editor. You're going to paste it right here, and then you're going to run it. After that, everything should be set. So let's close this tab. And here, as you can see, you have table editors, and you can create and add new tables. Here, as you can see, I have table and with a bunch of data. So let's go back. As I said, since you saw my table, that's the table I'm connecting it with, documents. Here, no, we cannot run vector store because we have to give it embeddings and we have to give it a document. So for embeddings, I'm going to be using OpenAI embeddings. It basically gives an easier time for vector store to understand information. And when it comes to like tricky words or tricky information, it will be able to detect, for example, the difference between queen and king, which is at the end of the day have kind of similar meaning, but one is a female and one is a male. So it gives our vector store, our database, more understanding of the context and the information we're giving it. So here I'm going to use model text embedding 3 small. Then my credential is all connected. Here with OpenAI, you have to provide your API keys that you have to create on your OpenAI account. And in document, I'll have default data loader. Type of data is going to be binary. Load all input data. And here in data format, we're going to choose automatically detect by MIME type. Basically, it will make your life easier. So whatever document you're pushing, either it be a picture or it's going to be a docx document, it's going to be able to detect what kind of data it's working with itself. So here I'm just putting automatically detect by MIME type. So now we have to use text splitter, and we're going to use recursive character text splitter. So here we're gonna basically split our text into chunks, because at the end of the day, the structures that I'm giving personally, and I want you to see as well, it's gonna be pretty large. And sometimes whenever you push very large data and very large files to vector store as one chunk, it's gonna have sometimes harder time understanding what's going on and finding this data. So the best way is to actually keep it standard. Maybe you can do 1050 or 1000, and it's basically gonna separate your data in chunks by the chunk size of 1000 characters. So let's say you have 10,000 characters inside your Lulu sheet. It's gonna basically create 10 chunks. You can see these chunks, for example. You see how many chunks I have. It's bunch. So here, before we hop and test, I actually want to show you what kind of Google Sheet data, what kind of data I'm providing my AI agent to provide me a good personalized post so that it can create for me. So here in my data structure overview, you can actually pause it and recreate exactly the same one as I have. I just don't want to show my personal data, but this is the exact same format I've used. So background information, full name, age, location, education, interests, your hobbies. Then we're going to give it professional specialization, personal characterization. So the more detailed and the better you will show the information to your AI agent, the better quality of post it's going to give you. Because at the end of the day, imagine you have a real person assisting you in the creation of your post and running your social media. You want them to know your background. You want them to know your likes and dislikes. You want them to know what kind of character you are in order to portray you in the best way. Basically, it's kind of like a manager, and you have to give the more information you can provide it, the better it is. So here you can say professional personality traits, communication style, like outgoing, uh, maybe professional, maybe short, community engagement focus, professional image and positioning, how you want to position yourself. For example, if you want to define authority and expertise clearly whenever you try to talk to people and post, personality and voice for post tone, social media content guidelines. So basically, these two are going to be actually very important. Actually, the three. So here you're going to give what kind of post you like, what kind of post it should post, and maybe you want to provide actual full length examples. Basically, you can provide your own post for it to understand what kind of posts, what kind of character and tone you have in your own post, as well as other people's or other influencers that you look up to or you like, and you want to kind of have what they have in some cases. So, at the end of the day, this is people learn from each other, and you're like, hey, listen, I want to, for example, write more like Alex Hormozy or Elon Musk, I don't know, whoever you like, and you can actually put their posts in here, and it will adapt pretty closely to yours or people you provide. AI agent communication guidelines, so you basically give it the guidelines, AI agent system message structure. So this is kind of structure I gave. You can pause it and recreate it yourself. So let's go back. Now you guys understand what kind of data I'm pushing to the vector store, and let's test it. So let's see if it's gonna be pushed. So you see, I created 20 chunks right now. I hope I didn't push it again. I think I pushed it again, but it's fine. Let me actually delete everything, because now I have a bunch, because I already tested before. So let's test the workflow. And created 20 items, meaning that I had around 20,000 characters, because you remember we have here 1,000 chunk size. And here we go. If we, you can see around 20. That should be good. Let's go back, and now our database is set up now. So now we set up our database, and let's create our agent. So we're gonna go here, and we're gonna basically add the trigger of one message model. So on chat, let's see. Let's reset. You see we have a chat here. We can text it. No response yet because we haven't set up our agent. So now let's add our agent real quick. We're gonna add our AI agent. AI agent. We're gonna use the connected chat trigger node, prompt user message, the JSON, and here we're gonna add properties for the system message. Let's go back real quick and I'll show you. So system message. So in this system message, you're gonna basically tell what AI agent, what its role is, what it's gonna do, basic overview of its tasks. But here's something very important. I mentioned if approved as final, prefix post with final draft. Otherwise, don't even include that in draft. Just ask me anything else, but don't mention neither final nor draft. And when submitting final draft, just have the full output of the post and nothing else after. I'll explain it why. So basically, it's gonna be a bit different from what I showed you. We're gonna, because at the end of the day, you don't want to push everything to your Google Sheet, because then it's just gonna be a bunch of data or a bunch of posts that you didn't probably like before. So you want to just push the post that you like, and you said, hey, this is final. I want to post this. Just keep it in NA10. Well, NA10 test is my Google Sheet. So here, if approved with final, prefix post is final draft. So whenever it creates a final draft, a final post, it's going to be final draft, then a post. And if it's not final, if we didn't like it and we wanted to recreate, then it's not going to mention final or draft. The reason why, we're going to push it through the if node. So if node, whenever it says, hey, there's a final draft in the message, then we're going to push it to the truth. Then it's going to go towards the Google Sheet and it's going to be pushed there. If it doesn't have final draft at the start, that means probably it's not the final version of the post. Let's push it back. You'll see it in action and it will make much more sense. But here, give it the data, highlight AI, and now code expertise, request feedback, and potential modification and stuff like that. Here in the chat model, I'm going to use OpenAI. You just have to make sure that you have money and so you can use the tokens. Here I'm going to just choose, let's see which one I want. Turbo. Memory, you have to make sure that your OpenAI is connected. I think you have to put your API, you have to create the API and just put it here. Here we're going to use, for the simplicity, simple memory. Basically, for the session ID, we're going to be also using connected chat trigger node. Session key form previous node, just use the same, keep it the same. And context Windows length is basically, so whenever you communicate with your chat, you want your assistant to have some memory. So basically, you have your input and you have your the assistant's output. So how many of those you want your model to remember, your AI assistant to remember? For example, do you want a 5? Do you want 10? Do you want, for example, 20 or more? Doesn't matter. Whatever works the best for you. Basically, now we give our AI assistant a model and we gave it a simple memory. We can communicate with it right now, I think. Let's see. Hey. Okay. Hello, how can I assist you today? So now if you go to the simple memory, it has the information in there. In here. So it has the memory, it remembers what you guys talked about. So basically, why it's useful. Whenever you make edits to the post, it remembers what kind of edits you actually asked for and what kind of information you asked for. So it can be pretty useful. Now we have to add a tool, which is going to be our Supabase vector store again. And we're going to give it access to data that we push to the vector store from our Google Drive on Google Doc. I was saying it in Google Sheet, but it was Google Doc. Credential to connect with, Supabase account, operation mode, going to be retrieve documents as a tool for AI agent. Name, we're going to use it. Actually, let's go back. I think I mentioned it somewhere here. So here, it's very important that you actually put the name of the tool in here so it knows when what's to call. So we're going to copy this. And here we're going to give the name of the tool. So basically, whenever you create the system message for the agent, you want to ensure that you include the name of the Supabase vector store. So say, for example, hey, before you create every post, please go and check Supabase vector store. But it doesn't know what a Supabase vector store is unless you specify the name. And here in the description, I'm going to go back and I'm just going to copy the description from here. Supabase vector store. So in the description, I'm just going to put the description of the item of this vector store. So at the end of the day, whenever you guys go to the store or buy something, let's say you buy iPhone or you buy a laptop, you want to know the description, what it does. It's a laptop and information on the product. The same way here, we're giving a description for the tool. Hey, listen, my assistant, whenever ask you for a post or my information, just go and use this vector store. Or you can always ask in the chat to use the vector store, but now it knows that this is the vector store. Here we're going to use the documents that we've created. Limit, you remember we created around 20 items, so it's going to be 20 items means 20 chunks, 20,000 characters. Limit is going to be 20. And here we have to use the embedding, which is going to be OpenAI. 3 small, perfect. Now everything should be set up, and let's test it real quick. Okay, pull data from the database about me. So as you can see, it gave my information: Adnan Abdullayev, age 23, Tampa, Florida, USA, education, engineering degree, interest, math, sports, artificial intelligence, and a bunch of other stuff. So with that said, everything is good. It has the access to data. It implements it right. It looks at it right, and it gives you the correct data. So now here, we want to push it somewhere, be it your social media, or for me, it's going to be my Google Sheet. So we're going to create if node, okay? So we're going to use if node. So if the output, you have to choose string contains final draft, then it's going to be pushed to the true branch. But here we don't have it. It goes to the false branch. If it has the final draft, we're going to push it either your social media or my Google Sheet. So let's add my Google Sheet. Append row. Basically, we're going to create a row in our Google Sheet. I already have my credentials connected. Then resource is going to be sheet with document. Append row. From list is going to be NA10 test. Sheet number 1. Map each column manually. Now let's connect the output. Let's actually, we cannot connect the output since it went through the false branch, so probably we'll have to run it again. It's going to give us a mistake, and then we'll connect the output. But however, for the false, if you keep it like that, I'll show you what's going to happen. Hey, it's going to give it a mistake because the last node has to be connected to something. So if you connect it even to your AI agent, it's not going to work. So the best thing for you to do here is going to be edit fields. And we're just going to copy and paste this output right here. So basically this node is going to transfer the information that was not final back to the AI agent. So let's test. Hey, and now you see, hello, how can I assist you today? Basically, this information from edit fields gets transferred back to the AI agent. Because you can see no response, make sure the last executed note puts the content to display here. And here for Google Sheet, everything should be set up as well. So let's test it again. Probably it's going to give us a mistake when it goes to the true branch because we have to basically connect the output back to the Google Sheet. Hey, can you create a random post for me? So this is, as you can see, it went to the database. I actually posted it myself and I just added it to my database. Thinking about jumping into AI, here's the real deal, what catches your eye, building chatbots, and so on. This is one of the posts that I have in my data set, in my Google Doc, and it just grabbed it from there and it pushed it through the false branch. But here it asks me, does this work for you, or is there anything else you'd like to add or adjust? And here I can say it's final. It is final. It is final. So now it's going to set up a final draft and then it's going to push it through the true branch, hopefully. Now it doesn't have to access our tool. You see it went to the true branch and it gave us a mistake because we didn't have the output. But now we have it, everything set, and let's actually restart the chat and talk to it again. Hey, can you create a very random post about AI and tomatoes? Let's see. Tomatoes. My spelling is crazy. Okay. So now it went through the false branch because it's not final, but it asks us, you see tech and architecture in agriculture. Let me know your thoughts on AI stepping into our gardens. Okay, let's say it is final. I like it. Now it has to push it to the true branch and we have to see it in here. So you see, final draft, ever wondered if AI could grow tomatoes? Let's explore this quirky idea. So basically that basically is it. I think it works perfectly fine. You can do the same thing with your X, be it Twitter, Instagram, or any social medias that you want to use. And that's the AI assistant that can help you out. And I hope it helps you out with your social media and your own brand. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. And if you have any questions, don't feel shy. You can always comment or contact me through my email and my social medias. They're all attached. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Have a good one.